Hi, it's Beezy. It's May 5th, 2022, and I'm puzzling with some things for myself for some projects I'm doing. And I was nudged as I was thinking about what I would write. I have to write a bio for the new community platform, and I have to write a kind of a bio for a project and kind of a mission op that I'm working on. And um, so as I'm playing with that and how to do, you know, the old linear kind of a bio, or how much I'm including, or where am I now in that including, and it was taking me on this whole journey, not getting the bio written, but taking me on this journey of how we identify ourselves and how we see ourselves. And a bio is a way to stand somewhat in an observer mode of ourselves, or a noticing mode. Actually, I like that. So the difference in writing a bio from an observer position as opposed to a noticing position, is very different. I knew this would help me. Why? Because you're observing, you might be more labeling based. So has done this, has this interest, has gone and done this, has this recognition here. Um, and a noticing is more of, yes, details and, places gone or things accomplished or things interested in, that kind of thing. But there's more of the energetic flow, the feeling flow, the what's the thread in um, the body of work of one's life from a personal, energetic, professional level. And so that will convey a very different picture. It will convey a story as opposed to just, just the facts, man. Um, so that's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. But how do we, how do you hold yourself? If someone was to ask you to sit down now and write a bio, different than a resume, but a bio, and what would come to heart for that? What would, what place, space, and storyline would you hold, and what's the thread that goes through it? Um, and is that storyline, is that whole way that you're meaning that, is that bringing all of you into the picture? And another way to, if you're going for, I guess, a very linear job, a very old false construct bio sort of a thing, um, what is being highlighted, and what's the, it's actually the picture you want to, perception of the picture you want to convey to someone. Since right now we're all in the mode of shifting our perceptions and clearing our lenses from distortions and from things that are not the truth of who we are. This is a curious, there's no such thing as coincidences. This is a curious at this moment in two different things that I'm doing. One one that's on a larger all scale, and one that's, well, I guess it's kind of that too. One that's in the business and the community, and slightly less larger scale. Uh, but how do you wish to convey yourself? What's the story line that you want to share? And the very first community member, the very first being that you're sharing it with is you. So is there a way that you may have described yourself or written a bio in one way? Now are you putting yourself in the picture? And are you using yourself as that community of one? Um, because that's where all community starts. I'm thinking back to a chapter in my book I wrote about that. And We think of community, we think of being in connection and relation and all that kind of stuff, and we forget that we ourselves are a community right here. And how do we treat the other community member? Ourself. How do we treat our soul? How are we treating ourselves within here, the self? Um, so it's a noticing related to something I'm looking to accomplish, something through solution energy, something to figure out where is my voice in general as a writer in writing this. But it's very on point for these moments that we're in, because how we convey that, how we see it, how we're communicating to ourselves, again, as I said, starting from our community of one, shifts how we carry ourselves, how we have the vibration, the predominant frequency neighborhood that we are in, that we can then be a match to the things that we want or not. Because if the things that we want are very expansive and give us joy and are fun, but we're carrying the bio, right? Our bio, the storyline that we've written, the way that we would feel about, describe about, paint a picture about ourselves, is not a match to this is not in the same vibrational frequency match to what it is our heart's desires are. It's going to take us an awfully long time to ever be a resonant match, to magnetize it right to us and say, hey, this is what you wanted. It's right here. The universe and source and my soul have such wisdom, because this is such a delicious thing for me personally, what I'm working on. But it really is, it's a very powerful piece of what's going on right this moment in how we're all viewing ourselves, because moment by moment we're changing. Every part of our bodies are changing. So for example, do you have maybe you have a learning disability, maybe you have I can't think of the acronym for it, but it's anyways, maybe you have a way of processing things in a different way. Or I don't know if it's called a learning disability, but maybe you have something with that. And so you say, well, I have X, right? And ADHD is an example. I have that. I have that. You've claimed it. It's a part of you. Yes, you may have different ways of processing information and feelings and seeing and encountering and integrating with the world. That's different than I have, right? That's different than claiming it, owning it, putting it in your storyline, weaving it, embedded in, but you don't understand, right? Or it could be any other thing. That just was the example that popped into mind. So now in these moments, because the universe and the energies and Gaia and nature, which is the nature of our physicality, is changing and rising to support us. And whatever we are putting in that bio, that self-description, that storyline that we want to share with ourselves and then others, and again, let that be the template, the scripting for our vibrational frequency set point. If we don't claim that, if we don't own that, meaning, something that is setting us back, right? I'm a victim, I'm a this, I'm a, whatever it may be. I'm a recovering where I used to work person, you know, for 7 years, sort of a thing. If we don't use that as our part of our storyline, we set that aside and we feel into, we choose what we want to feel when we feel that storyline and create from and be a match from that. Now we've changed everything. And yes, there are habits and rhythms and body memory, ways of processing information that we may have grown accustomed to because it was a label that was given to us. And boy, there is a lot of weight. I mean, in different labels like that. Um, for example, with ADHD, there's whole industries around it, and there's whole things, and well, you have this, and so on and so forth. And yeah, it's what challenge in processing things. It's a way that the brain processes things. And you're an amazing being. And how do you choose to write the bio and the storyline and the thread of the body of your work from here forward? Um, I remember this is an interesting kind of a jump to it, but it makes sense. There's a long time ago, my brain is not working, a long time ago in his book, and somebody will know the name of what I'm going to say right this minute. And he wrote about a famous author in self-help and Wayne Dyer. And he was saying, he's just telling a story of when he's in a cab and the person's saying, oh, it's flu season and this, that, and the other thing, and you're going to have a cold. And he tells that whole story that he hasn't had one. He doesn't believe in that. And so he doesn't have it because he doesn't claim it. He doesn't claim that it's cold season and now you get one. And whenever that book came out, I read it, when it first came out, it was a long, long, long time ago. And I thought, well, that makes sense. And I stopped doing it from that moment on. I didn't go in, I didn't even interact with people in the way along the cold and sick and time of year and everybody's got it and it's coming on, better watch out and all that kind of stuff. I just scrubbed it. And I haven't had a cold since. I haven't had flu ever or anything like that. So that's just as an example that popped in, but it's a way that, I was always a healthy kid, but it was a way that societal things paint that picture for us. So what other of those things are we taking on? What other of those things are we putting in how we describe? A lot of people are wanting to shift what they're doing for work, or maybe get remote work and then build a business, or shift in how they're working for someone else doing something. And then now they're going to go out on their own doing the same similar service, and they're working that way. And so how are we writing again for ourselves in a vibrational way, in an emotional way, in words that we're delivering out loud to ourselves, in our head to ourselves, how we're holding our heart? How are we writing that bio, just to use this leaping off point? How are we writing that storyline? And what are we claiming in that storyline? And is it a match in a vibrational frequency way? Is it a match to that which we want to create, to the way we want to feel, to the way we want our customers or the company that we're working for, or our family or friends or community, or whatever it is that a match? And if it's not, today's a really good day to shift and write the new bio, the new script, the new storyline, and be that bold, amazing being that you are as a character in your storyline, because you absolutely freaking are amazing. And if your storyline, your bio is not conveying that, and you want to play and you want to expand and you want to be abundant and you want to dance and fly and float and Yahoo, into the new earth, and for fun, for your fun and happiness, for co-creation with others, for assistance with those who are waking up going, whoa, what's going on? Any and all of those things. Then now is the time to play with that new way of doing things, new way of scripting it, starting with you. And how do you want the people, the places, the events, circumstances, the opportunities, the abundance flow. How do you want that to feel and interact with you? And that's your resonant match for magnetizing those things to you. I've got to buy 3 of them. I have to go right. Okay. I love you.